A Pulaski County man learns his sentence after he admits to shooting his half-brother.
With temperatures continuing to drop this season, Lexington Fire Department officials say carbon monoxide poisoning is a big concern.
City officials in Louisville are hailing the recent purchase of a major employer to a Chinese company.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. Heartbreak for a Pulaski County mother. Today she was in court as a judge sentenced her son to prison for a deadly shooting.
The victim was her other son. Christopher Lettner pled guilty to manslaughter in the April shooting death of his half-brother Thomas Ratliff. He'd been charged with murder. WKYT's Phil Pendleton was at the hearing and has our top story at 5:30.
22-year-old Chris Lettner was originally charged with murder following the shooting of his half-brother Thomas Ratliff at a home in Eubank in April of last year. Ratliff would later die at UK Hospital. The sentencing follows Lettner pleading guilty to second-degree manslaughter charges. Police said that the shooting happened at a home on Hansford Road in Eubank on Monday night, April 27th. Ratliff was airlifted to UK Hospital where he later died. We're told that Lettner went to his mother's home after the shooting and turned himself in. Lettner has made the news before, but for much different reasons. In 2009, we spoke to him after he was injured in a violent school bus crash. During today's sentencing, not much was said before the judge sentenced him to 10 years on the amended charge. But as Lettner was leaving the courtroom, he blew his family a kiss and spoke briefly to them.
Love you. Love you.
There were a lot of relatives in the courtroom, but none of them wanted to speak on camera afterwards. I did speak briefly with Lettner's mother, who told me this entire situation has been extremely difficult. As you see, she has one son who is dead and another son who's going away to prison for 10 years. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The prosecutor says that had the case gone to trial, the evidence would have shown that the shooting happened as a result of a fight between the two brothers. A man charged in a high-profile Lexington murder case went back in front of a judge today. Timothy Ballard is charged with kidnapping and evidence tampering in the death of Alex Johnson. Police say Ballard and Mark Taylor lured Johnson into their car and beat him to death in 2013. Taylor is charged with murder and kidnapping. Ballard's attorney filed several motions today. The judge will rule on them during hearings next month. Ballard and Taylor will go on trial in June.
Investigators say a jail employee has confessed to sneaking in drugs to inmates for years. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Clay County. Police arrested detention center captain Jason Durham Thursday for trafficking in a controlled substance and promoting contraband. The jailer who investigated Durham said that for years Durham received kickbacks from family members of inmates to sneak in marijuana, Suboxone strips, and prescription drugs. Police say Durham eventually confessed. He's now being held in the Laurel County Detention Center. In Pulaski County, a judge denies dismissing a charge against a Southern Kentucky police chief. Science Hill Police Chief Robbie Gossett is accused of theft and abuse of public trust. He was indicted by a grand jury last year, and today a Pulaski County Circuit judge denied a motion to dismiss the charges. Gossett's attorney says it's never been clear what exactly Gossett is accused of stealing. Gossett pled not guilty, and a trial date was set for April 11th. In Lincoln County, a settlement has been reached in a lawsuit involving a deadly school bus crash. William Otis Coleman died in May of last year after a bus hit his pickup. His family later filed a lawsuit against Lincoln County Schools over the crash, and a hearing was held in September. Today, the office of the Lincoln County Circuit Court clerk confirmed that an undisclosed settlement has been reached.
It was a nice little break while it lasted, but it looks like our brief warm-up won't stick around for our weekend. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's in now with a first alert check of your weather.
Yeah, it's already going the other way out there, courtesy of the rains that are coming into town ahead of cold front number 1. That's the front that starts off the weekend. Cold front number 2 introduces some very cold air by Sunday into Monday. Current temperatures dropping into the low 40s now across most of central Kentucky where we have the rain. Look at the camera out of Frankfurt. Frankfort, wet conditions, wet travel conditions. Florence into Lexington, Mountain Parkway. Hang in there. You got rain that is getting ready to come on into town as well. Look at that wall of water now progressing east of Interstate 75, where you see the darker greens, the yellows, a little bit of red in there. Some heavier downpours. At least the heaviest rains are pushing east of Lexington. Still a lot of ponding of water on area roadways. Slow down, take it easy. Richmond, Winchester coming down. Another little gusty shower between Danville and Harrodsburg on the Mercer and Boyle County line. Southern Kentucky, more in the way of some showery type returns showing up on our Defender radar network. Low pressure across the east, cold front to the west. We were worried about the cold front. That blows into town, and that's the first one. The Arctic cold front arrives on Sunday, and behind that, we've got at least a couple of snow chances showing up in your 7-day forecast that comes your way in a little over 5 minutes.
We will see you then, Chris. Thank you. As temperatures continue to drop, one of the biggest dangers of winter may not be outside, but rather in your own home.
Lexington Fire Department officials say that carbon monoxide poisoning is one of their biggest concerns this season. Mike Linden has more on that.
Last night, a Lexington woman checked herself into UK hospital with a headache. It turns out her apartment on Patchen Drive was slowly filling up with carbon monoxide.
The furnace was malfunctioning and generating carbon monoxide and actually a small gas leak.
Lexington firefighters say symptoms of CO poisoning include headaches, dizziness, and just feeling tired. They say if not acted upon immediately, carbon monoxide poisoning can quickly set in. Lexington Fire Department officials say it's not just the lower floors of homes affected by carbon monoxide leaks, that if the furnace is still running at the time of the leak, that the gas will spread throughout the home evenly, and that includes the upstairs.
Carbon monoxide is colorless, odorless. You can't smell it, you can't detect it. You have to have a carbon monoxide detector.
Cox says an investment in a CO detector could prove to be life-saving in the event of a leak. He says had the woman not gone to the hospital, they could have been responding to a much more tragic call.
Depending on how much that furnace was called to run, if it got real cold and it called on that furnace to run a lot more, there's a potential it could have built up to a fatal level.
In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
And firefighters say if your home has gas appliances or an attached garage, a carbon monoxide detector is essential.
A deal was struck today announcing the sale of GE's appliance unit in Louisville to a Chinese appliance maker. The Haier Group is reportedly buying the division for $5.4 billion. As part of the sale, Haier will continue to use the GE Appliances brand and will make the Louisville site its North American headquarters. The Director of Public Relations for Appliance Park says the move makes sense given China's current market.
I think if you do some research, you'll find out that the cost of production in China has continued to go up, and it is not as inexpensive to manufacture there as it once was.
About 6,000 people are employed at Louisville's Appliance Park. 230 people in Wayne County have found out they'll be out of work at the end of next year after it was announced today that the Belden plant in Monticello is closing. Wayne County Judge Executive Michael Anderson confirmed the plant is closing, saying it was a shock to the community. The plant manufactures wiring for computers. The company's statement says production is being redirected to plants in Indiana and Mexico, and it will offer severance and benefits to employees affected by the closing. The closure will take place by the end of 2017.
With oil prices dropping, fuel for the airlines is also cheaper, which is good news for them. But is that translating into lower fares? In just the first 3 quarters of last year, U.S. Airlines made almost $18 billion in profit. During that time, they were on pace to pass 2014's record of $3.5 billion in baggage fees. Their planes flew 85% full, and the steep drop in fuel prices had the carriers cashing in. Passenger Rita Moss.
With everything from the seat to the baggage to everything being added on as extras, and the prices still are not decreasing.
The very first thing anybody heard about the airlines in January was they raised fares.
Very modestly, and that was the first raising of fares in a very long time.
Gene Medina speaks for the airline industry.
What's good news for consumers is when airlines are profitable, customers, communities, and investors and employees win because they're reinvesting that money back into the business.
The airline business is boom and bust. Since 1990, the industry has landed in the red 11 times. In 2005, it lost nearly $29 billion.
First class is getting more luxurious, but in the back, they're squeezing us tighter than ever.
Charles Lee Oka is the chairman of Flyers' rights group, Travelers United.
The fact that oil now has dropped to such a low level has really given them a windfall profit. And some of that you would think might be shared with the consumers, either in the forms of lower fees or lower airfares, or perhaps by giving us a couple of extra inches in the airplane.
The airlines say ticket prices dropped 3% last year, but some analysts say that pales in comparison to the drop in oil prices.
The Fayette County Sheriff's Office kicks off its annual coat drive. Find out how you can donate in 5 minutes.
I'm Bill Bryant. Time is ticking on a major decision for Lexington Mayor Jim Gray. Rand Paul back in New Hampshire hoping to pull off the upset. And some alcohol sales issues come up in the legislature. The bottom line is ahead.
And 2 men have been sentenced in connection to the 2014 shooting of a 19-year-old in Lexington. Ahead at 6, hear the stern words the victim's mother had for her son's killers.
Have something that needs investigating? Email us or call the WKYT Investigates tip line.
Think for a moment. You don't think twice about having your eyes tested, but what about your hearing? Hi, I'm Marcia Mattingly. At Beltone, we've helped thousands of people lead richer, fuller lives by showing them that they can hear the way they should. At Beltone, a free hearing test can determine if you need hearing help. Call now. You have everything to gain. 50 years and 3 generations serving the tri-state with the most trusted name in hearing aids, Beltone.
Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield wants to know, what's your health insurance IQ?
True or false? A lot of people qualify for financial help to lower the cost of their health insurance. False? Actually, millions of people have qualified for financial help on their health insurance through the Affordable Care Act. A family of 4 making about $95,000 a year or less may qualify. You are required by law to have health coverage.
True.
Yep. Most people were required to have health coverage starting in 2014.
Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield can help protect your family's health with one easy call.
Did you know all their plans cover doctor visits, prescription drugs, hospital stays, and more?
Yes, with $0 preventive care.
The deadline to enroll is earlier this year, so don't wait. Call now for free expert guidance and a free quote. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Call us at 1-800-769-7581 for a free quote. That's 1-800-769-7581.
Unclaimed freight notice this weekend at American Freight. Over 1,000 truckloads of living room furniture. 7-piece living room groups that include a sofa, love seat, coffee table, 2 end tables, and 2 designer lamps. You get all 7 pieces from only $398 complete. Free layaway till tax refund. Same-day delivery. Come to the loading docks this weekend only at American Freight in Lexington, 272 West New Circle Road next to Walmart across from Jalapenos. Phone 226-0008.
Social Security is sometimes the only thing that stands between having a roof over your head, food on the table, and being homeless. At Morgan & Morgan, we have a Social Security section devoted to helping you. Whether you're applying for benefits or been denied, I invite you to visit forthepeople.com and learn more. When you visit, you can learn what benefits you're entitled to and what injuries and mental illnesses qualify for both Social Security and VA benefits. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Lexington's mayor may be eyeing a Washington office.
And new laws on alcohol sales are being discussed in Frankfort. Bill Bryant has the latest in today's Bottom Line.
Good evening. Decision time approaches for Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, who is having meetings and making calls as he seriously considers entering the race for the Democratic nomination for the U.S. Senate. With the filing deadline of January 26th quickly approaching, those familiar with Gray's exploration of a campaign say he has met with Democratic operatives. The mayor's office will not confirm that Gray has been in Washington, but nationally known Democrats are said to be looking for a high-profile candidate. Democrats have not not held a Kentucky U.S. Senate seat since Wendell Ford's retirement in 1998. The seat that's up for election is the one held by Republican Rand Paul, who is seeking a second term. The Senate seat also is not the only thing that Paul is running for, of course. Also, he's campaigning for president. He returned to New Hampshire today for the first in the nation primary. He's working there to try to get support. Paul picked up a lot of social media followers last night when he held a town hall meeting on Twitter to protest not being invited to the main debate that was televised by the Fox Business Channel. Some alcohol issues up for consideration in the legislature. One would let microbreweries double their production to 50,000 barrels a year. Under Senate Bill 11, microbreweries could also sell product at festivals and fairs. CN2 reports another bill in the Senate would allow for alcohol sales on Sunday before 1 o'clock at the Kentucky Speedway. The Quaker State 400 is normally held on Saturday, but Sunday could be a rain date if weather is bad. On this weekend's Kentucky newsmakers, Lexington's police chief and top prosecutor on a spike in shootings. Controversial Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis talks about how her life has been since she defied federal courts over marriage licenses. And you'll meet the youngest statewide office holder in America, Kentucky's Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles. Sunday morning at 6 on WKYT, and Kentucky newsmakers repeat Sunday morning at 10 on the CW Lexington. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
For the third year in a row, the Fayette County Sheriff's Office is helping keep people warm this winter. The Sheriff's Office Coat Drive kicked off today and runs through the end of February. From now until then, officials are collecting new or gently used coats.
Law enforcement here in Lexington is very intentional about our relationship with our community, but we know with that old saying to serve and to protect that serving the community is just as important as protecting the community.
Coats can be dropped off at Chase Dry Cleaners in Chevy Chase or at any Republic Bank location.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
It's a rainy start to the weekend across the Bluegrass State. Those clouds thickening up all day long. Had some scattered showers. Now, when you know it, we get into rush hour time and into the start of that Friday evening. The rains really begin to pick up the pace a little bit. A soggy view of Hamburg Pavilion in the distance. Right now, Lexington 43 degrees. Feels like it is 38 though. Winds are still from the south and southwest at 9 miles an hour, but those numbers are going to be dropping very quickly as some colder air works in. Those winds will become westerly and then northwesterly in time. Defender Radar Network, here's that band of rain that is actually intensifying a bit across parts of central Kentucky. You get into the Moorhead area, back over toward Fleming County, Mount Sterling, Owensville into Bath County. It's a soggy trip along Interstate 64 into the Lexington Metro. We've got the rains, more of a nuisance rain than anything else out there. So let's make sure we have the umbrellas if we're going out to dinner this evening. From Versailles back over to Lawrenceburg, right on top of the Kentucky River, seeing a lot of downpours from time to time, and then southbound on 75, Richmond, Berea, toward London, Corbin, and Williamsburg, we're getting in on rain. Southeastern Kentucky had a little system that is off to our east, kind of sideswipe us with some chilly showers early in the day. What we're looking at for the day tomorrow, notice the clouds that are back across the St. Louis to Chicagoland area, and you can actually see a couple of returns there. That'll sweep in here tomorrow with a couple of snowflakes as a possibility. 24-hour planner looks threatening, doesn't it? It's just some flakes that will fly around. Temperatures low and mid-30s, but it will feel a little colder than that. Sunday morning, low pressure across the deep south may throw a little swath of some light snow into southeastern Kentucky, but then it's all about the cold that arrives as we go into our Sunday evening with a band of some light snows ahead of that. Arctic cold for the day on Monday as Arctic high pressure noses its way into the Ohio Valley. That is a northwesterly flow that will keep those temperatures likely in some cases in the teens, mid and upper teens for a high on Monday, with lows for any night that sees the skies cleaning up a little bit. We could be dropping closer to 0. Fast forward into Sunday and Sunday evening, 24 to 17 in a matter of just an hour or two. And by the time we go into Monday morning, still think these numbers are a little too warm. That's right, too warm. I think we're 0 to 5 above in most cases start out the day. Teens to low 20s for a high temperature on Monday afternoon. We go into Monday night and we do it all over again with the likelihood of single-digit lows into the day on Tuesday. Winds will be a little gusty during that time as well, so we've got a wind chill forecast that we are talking about. It's going to feel at or below 0 from time to time as we go into Monday morning, especially across the northern half of the area. And we'll see single-digit feels-like numbers right on through the afternoon on Monday. Moral of the story, folks, it's going to get really cold for a couple of days early next week. Flakes tomorrow, not a huge deal. A little snow shower action on Sunday. If we are to pick up, at least the best chance for accumulating snows right now would be on Wednesday with a system that sneaks in from the west and the northwest. Short term, it's all about the cold.
You know what I say? This crazy back and forth weather, only good for a cold. Done with it.
Spoken like someone trying to get a cold, right?
Someone who's over the weather. Just let it be cold. I'm good with it.
Don't
pass it on.
The next week is cold. You get your wish.
Sorry, you do.
Yeah.
Live look at Lexington rush hour traffic. Overall traffic view, you can see there's a little slow ride in certain places trying to get home this afternoon. Heavier than usual traffic. The weather's not helping there either. Now, as far as wrecks are concerned, there's one on the outer loop of New Circle at Old Frankfort Pike, and traffic right now is a slow go from Georgetown to Old Frankfort on the outer loop because of that collision. Also working one at Nicholasville near Lowry. That is a non-injury crash. And they're still clearing the collision on the north side. It's Bryant Station and Preakness. Drive times, it's going to be a little slower. Ride home this afternoon, it looks like we're making it to Paris on Paris Pike. Nothing major headed toward Clark County and Winchester on 64. Now back to the studio.
Exciting news as UK now has a 5-star recruit, Rob.
He is big and athletic and figures to be a key part of the future for UK football. And John Calipari talking about the defense of Derek Willis and the foul trouble of Marcus Lee. That's next on WKYT.
CBS Tonight.
I want to take that bad boy for a spin.
Carol Burnett in a final farewell.
Oh, please keep your eyes on the road.
New Hawaii Five-0. Then, Blue Bloods is all new.
What?
With a decision.
What do you want to do? I don't know.
So critical.
Take a look at this. It can just go away.
There's no good for us. This gets out. It will be put to a family vote.
Francis.
Blue Bloods after Hawaii Five-0. New CBS Tonight.
If you need a reason to start celebrating Super Bowl 50 early, I'll give you 2.
Get a large one-topping pizza for only 50 cents when you order any large pizza at regular menu price.
Better ingredients, better pizza, better football. PapaJohns.com.
Meet the Moores. We're the Moore family, and we're always looking for ways to enjoy more.
So we called Time Warner Cable and got even more than we expected. More speed.
More TV shows and movies on demand.
More places to make more unlimited calls.
They even made it easy to switch with a 1-hour arrival window.
For $89.99 a month, you'll get 30 meg internet, TV, and phone. Plus, free installation with a 1-hour arrival window. TV equipment and Epics included. Call for more now.
Hi, I'm Mark Krish of Coit Cleaning and Restoration. Almost 50 years ago, we pioneered the drapery and carpet cleaning business. With our certified technicians, innovative cleaning methods, and your satisfaction guaranteed in writing, Coit continues to deliver exceptional customer service. For a limited time, choose from any of our cleaning services and save up to 35% off. That's right, 35% off. Is it any wonder why so many homes in the Lexington area have one thing in common? A Coit van in the driveway. Call 1-800-4COIT today.
Suff's Furniture and Oriental Rugs is having a fantastic holiday sale. Come in and shop and save on great furniture. Save up to $500 on selected Lazy Boy recliners, now only $392. Save $1,000 off Sealy queen sets, now only $799. Save an additional 25% off all Tempur-Pedic floor models. This sale is so big, even Vito is helping to get ready for this fantastic holiday sale at Suff's Furniture and Oriental Rugs.
This is a Morgan & Morgan medical alert. Xarelto is a blood-thinning drug used to prevent blood clots and strokes in people with an irregular heartbeat. Unfortunately, many Xarelto users have developed internal bleeding resulting in severe injury or death. The dangerous effects of Xarelto cannot be reversed by simply giving another medication. If you've suffered complications while taking Xarelto, call Morgan & Morgan or visit us online at forthepeople.com.
98.1 The Bull.
The best songs.
The biggest artist.
All in one place. 98.1 The Bull.
If you need a reason to start celebrating Super Bowl 50 early, I'll give you 2.
Get a large one-topping pizza for only 50 cents when you order any large pizza at regular menu price.
Better ingredients.
Better pizza. Better football. PapaJohns.com.
For all your hearth and grill needs, shop BarnhillChimney.com.
Kentucky now has a five-star football recruit, offensive tackle Landon Young out of Lafayette. 24/7 Sports elevated Young to 5 stars following his performance in the Army All-American Bowl. Young, who goes 6'7", 270, moved up 90 spots to the number 12 overall player in the country. John Calipari will certainly be looking for more from his big men when the Cats go into Auburn tomorrow afternoon. Both Alex Poitras and Marcus Lee picked up 2 first-half fouls in Tuesday night's game. Lee ended up fouling out with almost 6 minutes left. He's now fouled out at 2 of the last 3 games. Calipari says he has to get himself in better position.
Most cases, he didn't fight early enough
to get that spot,
to get his position, to get that ball. A lot of times you get out of position and you're embarrassed about it. What do? I'm going to grab the guy so he doesn't score. It's not football, son. It is not football. That was not a touchdown. That was 2 points, which we could have scored in 7 seconds. But it's hard for him because it's an embarrassing thing, too. Just grab the guy, keep him from scoring. I'm not going to be embarrassed.
Derek Willis came off the bench and scored 8 points in 11 minutes against Mississippi State, but defensively he has a long way to go, and he says he needs confidence.
Defensively, you just have to know that like you can guard that guy. Like, I mean, in the game, Tyler's like, come on, like, you know, you're guarding me in practice and stuff. You can guard this kid. And so it's just one of the things where it's just a mindset, and you just got to get back to it.
When you're confident defensively, you'll let loose, but his habits are so bad. Like, what's the word below so bad? You know, that his habits, and we're working every day for him to create better habits, but they are what they are right now.
The Cats traveling to Auburn Saturday. It'll be a 4 o'clock tip tomorrow afternoon on ESPN. And 3 future Wildcats have been selected to play in the Jordan Brand Classic game in Brooklyn April 15th. Bam Adebayo, De'Aaron Fox, and Malik Monk will play in the annual game that features the best high school talent in the country. Since Cal's arrival at Kentucky, 29 total players have been selected to the Jordan Brand Classic game. And today, Cal was promoting his former players for the NBA All-Star game. We'll have that in the next half hour. Stay with us.